Hello, I'm Simon Oldroyd, Dean of the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences here at DMU. The Faculty of Health and Life Sciences at DMU brings together high quality education, industry links and specialist teaching. It's home to our wide range of pharmaceutical, healthcare, lab-based and social science courses which aim to improve the lives and health of those around us. Many of our courses are professionally accredited or endorsed by professional bodies, meaning you can be assured of receiving teaching of the highest quality with a focus on building the skills which are really sought by employers. Behind me you can see the 19th century Hawthorne building, which has facilities designed to replicate current practice in health and life sciences, including contemporary analytical chemistry and formulation laboratories, audiology booths, nursing and midwifery clinical skills suites. Our recent addition of a new radiography suite simulates real-world settings, allowing you to put theory into practice. Integrated placements, optional work experience and voluntary opportunities also provide you with the chance to learn from professionals in the sector. Our students have already benefited from placements at schools, in community centres, the NHS and major pharmaceutical companies, law enforcement agencies and community pharmacies. Alongside employability, we pride ourselves in producing graduates who are able to work as part of an interprofessional team, and we have teaching designed to embed this throughout your time with us to further enhance your career prospects. Our graduates go on to secure jobs in globally recognised companies including GSK, AstraZeneca, LGC Forensics, Boots, 3M, the Ministry of Defence, as well as the NHS. I hope I've provided a flavour of health and life sciences and the community that you could be a part of. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Hello everyone and a warm welcome to our live stream. We are going to be shining a spotlight on two of our undergraduate programs here in the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences. We're going to be talking about our Education Studies program and our Social Work program throughout this live stream. I'm going to be joined by two current students from both of those course areas, and together we're going to answer your questions that you may have about the course or about the student experience here at DMU. So please do leave your questions in the comment sections below and throughout the live stream, and we will be responding to them throughout, but also in a dedicated Q&A towards the end. So without further delay, I'm going to bring on our guests and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name's Iris and I'm studying Education Studies at DMU and I'm in my third year.
Brilliant. Thank you, Iris.
Hello, my name is Felicia and I'm a social work student at DMU and I'm in my first year.
Brilliant. So thank you very much for joining me today, guys, to sort of share your experiences a little bit. And obviously for the viewers at home, you may be sitting there, have applied already to study with us at DMU. Maybe you have an offer with us and are starting to sort of think about now those next steps and thinking about making those decisions as to whether or not you will pick us as your firm choice. So hopefully myself, Walida and Iris will be able to give you some pointers and give you some information to help out. So I think to start off with, we will ask you both just to sort of tell us a little bit about why did you decide to pick your course and to come and study at DMU. So Iris, I'll go to you first. If you want to just tell us a little bit about why you picked to study Education Studies, what particularly stood out about that course at DMU, and probably a little bit about what you were doing beforehand.
So before I started to go to DMU, I was in college for 4 years, studying early years. And the reason why I picked Education Studies at DMU was because I liked the way there are different modules that were provided for me. And I was able to pick whatever I liked, to tailor what I liked. So, for example, Forest School was the one thing that I liked the most, and how children can learn from outdoor experiences and learn from what they've learned from inside as well. And I had a placement near Leicester, and I really enjoyed how the children were able to enjoy and flourish through learning from outside.
Brilliant. Okay. And so Walida, same question to you really. So like, why did you pick to study social work at De Montfort University, and what particularly stood out about the course for you?
So I'm a local around here, so I was definitely looking into, getting on the course around me, and especially at DMU, I think one of the main things that attracted me to the course was the module, how the modules were laid out. and especially like the placements, because we've got 2 placements in the course. So the first one is in the second year, which is a 70-day placement, and the second one is in the third year, which is a 100-day placement. And I was really fascinated by that because I wasn't sure what kind of department I want to work within social work. So I was really looking into like the placement and stuff, and, you know, them helping me out to make an informed decision in what kind of people I would want to work with once I'm qualified. So I think that was like definitely the big thing that got me into the course here.
Yeah, brilliant. So I know you're both at different journeys at the moment. So Iris, you're third year, so you're actually coming towards the end now of your time here at DMU, and Walija, you just completed the first year. So I appreciate when I asked you like what your highlights been, there's been probably different things you're going to be able to talk about there. So for Iris, what would you say so far throughout the 3 years have been the highlights for you on the course?
I think making friends through the course has been the one thing that is the highlight for me, and being able to have different friends from different lectures and seminars is quite memorable and enjoyable because it's made my experience much more exciting and fun.
Yeah, brilliant. How would you say that you sort of went about making those friends when you were sort of joining the course? Was there anything that you particularly did to sort of get yourself out there, or did it just sort of happen quite naturally?
It just kind of happened naturally, and especially with like the group activities that kind of sort of helped in talking to other people I normally won't speak to if I wasn't in university at the moment.
Yeah, I definitely think there's something about gaining that confidence when you come to university, and sort of like putting yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit, and like you say, you know that you're all in it together and that you're all in the same boat. So I think there's something quite comforting about that. How about you, Walija? What would you say have been the highlights in your sort of first year so far?
I'd definitely highlight into getting to know people in your class at first, because, you know, like we do so many group activities and discussions, you just get to know everyone quite easily, and you don't picture it that way because first day you come in and you're a bit like, how am I going to talk to people? And there's people from different age and different backgrounds and stuff, so you can definitely be hesitant. But I think the group activities and everything are like a good icebreaker, gets your own with it. And I'd definitely say societies and stuff. So, you know, it's a great way to make friends outside your course. So you'd still meet like-minded people, but they'll just be doing different courses. So I'm a part of like PACSOC or like the Critic Society and all that. So, you know, those are the things that really widen your circle if you want to.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like you say, sometimes it's nice to also step outside of your course and like you say, be able to meet other people, whether that's through your accommodation or, like you say, joining clubs and societies. So if we move on to sort of thinking about how you would prepare somebody to start university, because there is quite a transition, I suppose, from if you've come from sixth form or college, you know, that transition of coming into university. So I know it wasn't that long ago, really, when you were actually going through this kind of process of applying and waiting for offers and sort of making those decisions. So what kind of top tips would you give to people that are in that boat at the moment?
I'd definitely start with getting your student finance sorted, because I think personally that's something that really stressed me out. It can be a really easy process, but once it's out of the way, that's like a big chunk out of the way. And I think especially like if you're applying for a maintenance loan, you know, you'd know how much you're going to receive. And that would help you like pick accommodation or see if you're going to commute and stuff like that. So I think it would really help you make an informed decision. I think that's a good position to be in, instead of like stressing yourself out and not knowing what kind of budget you're working with to get on with. So I'd definitely get the student finance sorted. I'd go ahead with getting the student account sorted too. So there's like so many student accounts out there with like different like perks and stuff. So, you know, definitely looking into it and, you know, see what's the best fit for you, what works out for you. And yeah, like looking into accommodation and seeing, you know, where you're going to live. And as you said, like it's a huge transition. So like definitely setting your expectations that way. So, you know, learning to cook a bit, getting on with laundry and stuff, because you're going to have to do that all yourself if you're away from home. So yeah, I think, you know, definitely just preparing yourself for it overall.
Yeah. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about kind of finance and cost of living and kind of budgeting tips, but I think that's really sound advice about getting the student finance sort of bit done, because like you say, it can feel like a bit daunting, I suppose, when you're looking at all the kind of forms that you might have to be filling out. And a lot of that also might depend on getting your parents to help, especially if you're going down the road of being means tested. So I suppose having that conversation quite early on with parents and explaining the kind of detail that you might need them to provide. It's good to sort of get that out of the way, isn't it? How about you, Iris, then? So what tips would you give to someone thinking back, obviously, 3 years ago now, when you might have been going through this? What kind of things were you trying to get prepared?
I think it was the student finance was the big problem for me, and trying to have my mum's help as well. That kind of struggle, because I struggled a bit with student finance, a little bit. But I think also just enjoy the uni experience, because it goes by so fast. And now I kind of see that, because I'm in my 3rd year, I'm nearly finished, and I'm about to graduate. So I think kind of enjoy all the little moments before you finish. And enjoy what
researching them. Oh, sorry. I suppose what researching what the university has to offer in terms of those experiences, and getting to sort of know that now, like the fact, like DMU, for example, we've got like DMU Global. So what does that mean? Where could you potentially be going with that? Or like you say, clubs and societies, what should I be thinking about? What could I join? And you can do all of that now. All the information is on our website. There's loads of information out there, and we've got a dedicated page that's just for our new starters. Which has got things on there like a checklist to help you get prepared. So we'll post that link in our comments so that you can go away and have a look at it. But I think just getting as prepared as you can be, really, isn't it? It's about just going into it with your eyes wide open, and like you say, Iris, just making the most of that opportunity, because 3 years will go really quickly, won't it? It seems to fly by. Okay, so let's see if we have any questions in our chat before we move on. I don't think we have anything at the moment, so we'll just jump straight into our kind of next segment, where we're going to talk a little bit more about the kind of other things that you can be doing to help when it comes to your future careers. So thinking about employability and jobs and placements, because obviously it's such a vital tool to be able to equip you for what's going to happen after graduation. So at the moment, we're just focusing on the 3 years, and we're getting through the studies, but also with an eye on the future, and obviously what kind of things is going to help you to progress onto. So at DMU, we have the DMU Careers Service, and that obviously helps students with providing them with support, but it's lifelong career support. So I think that's really important, because it doesn't mean that when you graduate, you've got nothing then. It means that you can always come back to DMU, and we'll be there to provide you with that step throughout your career, because throughout that, it's going to change. Things are going to change in your life, and you're going to need some different support at different steps. And we can help with things like helping you with internships and placements, helping you to access learning courses like our LinkedIn learning courses, helping you with CV writing, preparing you for practice interviews. So there's loads of ways in which that careers team can help you. So Iris, as a 3rd year student on our education studies course, I'm sure that you've probably done lots of different kinds of work experiences throughout that time. So tell us a little bit about that. So how many placements have you actually been on the course?
I've been to 3 placements so far.
Yeah, and have you chosen them yourself, or has somebody chose them for you?
They advised us, our lecturers advised us to choose our own placements. So we had to find them on our own. So through emailing the schools to see how that's going to be like in the real world after university, to build those relationships with people. And I went to a nursery, just finished my placement just now, and I kind of built a very good relationship with those people, because I've been there for quite a few months, and that kind of really helped kind of with my confidence and seeing what I can do as a teacher, because they'll have different teaching styles that I can use when I've become a teacher after I finished.
So did you have to go through like an application and like an interview process for those placements?
No interview process. Was just emailing the school, say what I'm doing, how many hours I was doing, and what I needed to do when I was at the placement.
And so how do you sort of manage when you're out on placement? How do you sort of manage like being on placement with kind of like studying and kind of meeting kind of deadlines or doing assignments? Do you still have to work alongside doing your placement as well?
Yeah, I also have a part-time job, so I kind of treat everything as like a full-time job, 9 to 5. So during the week, I'll do coursework 9 till 5, and after 5 o'clock, I'll just close my laptop and I'll just have some time to chill, or go and meet friends after, and spend some time with family if I wanted to.
So you have to be super organized and
Yeah.
just make sure that you've got everything on a calendar so you know what you're doing and when. And so, Walida, I know you spoke a little bit at the very beginning about social work placements not beginning until the second year. So I know you haven't necessarily been out on a placement yet, but I'm sure you've still had to do quite relevant work experience for your course. So do you want to talk us a little bit about what you've been doing sort of before you came on the course and what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I've been care and support worker for about 13 months, but that, you don't need experience for that long. But, you know, I've done open days and I've talked to plenty of prospective students and stuff. And one thing I've told every single one of them is getting yourself into some kind of care setting and having to work with vulnerable people, because I think it really, really helps. And it's the key to like have your expectations from what you're going to get off the course and, you know, how it would be like on placements or when you'll be in practice. And especially like placements, you know, so you look forward to it in a way because it's basically something you really need to do before you get on with practice. Because within the course, you know, we learn all the theories and all the things that we need to be a professional. But until you put it in practice, that's when you really know how it gets along with everything. So before you go off to get practice and you're a certified social worker at the end of the course, you get to go on placements, you know, have that experience on hand and, you know, just really know what you're going to do in real life, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously it's placements on the social work course are embedded throughout, so they are a mandatory part of the course to obviously at the end to become an accredited social worker. So are there any particular placement settings that you're kind of hoping for or kind of like really interested to work in?
So overall, I've kept my mind really open, but we had this guest lecture and it was Deborah Hadvin that did the lecture for us, and it was about working with people with a refugee status. And I was a bit surprised because I didn't even know you could do that as a social worker, you know, work with people who are refugees and, you know, help them get on with life and stuff. So I think that's something that really caught my interest. So again, you know, that's one of the main reasons that I'm on the course too, because there's like so much you can do with it that sometimes you don't even know that you can, you know, work with a certain department and stuff like that and get involved in these great causes.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you both for talking to us a little bit about placements and sharing your experiences with us. If you want to find out more about the DMU Career Service and obviously how it supports you with not only just looking for placements, but we obviously offer all students the opportunity to undertake work experience. You can do volunteering, there's internships, there's lots of things that you can get involved in. So you can head over to the website to discover more, and we'll post the link in our comments so that you can go straight there and have a look at that service. So let's just have a look. Have we got any questions about placements that we can ask our students? Let's have a look. I think one of the things that I did sort of see as a question was looking at like how you get to and from placements and whether or not your travel's kind of covered in that. So Iris, maybe because you've done some work experience things, is that something that you would normally just fund yourself getting to and from?
Normally I would do that, so it's quite close in distance to where I live. So I'll either get the train because it's not that far from where I live, and then I'll just walk in distance from the train to the placement. Yeah,
but that's something you obviously like you would fund yourself. And Walida, I know that obviously the social work students can apply for a bursary, can't they, in the second year placements sort of start?
Yeah, so it's an NHS bursary that you can apply for, and you know it's like quite a simple process that you can do. And I'll definitely go through it if your placement's a bit far. But I think the uni itself definitely consider your preferences and stuff, so they can't promise anything because, you know, it depends on the availability of the type of people they're working with. But when you fill the form, you know, you can put like things like you don't want to travel too far, or, you know, what's your travel preferences and stuff like that. So it's quite accommodating either way.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I know you can get lots more information about that NHS bursary as well on our website. So you can go and have a look if you're unsure about how that works. Okay, so we're going to move on now just to talk a little bit about the kind of community here at DMU, because it's something that we really do pride ourselves on here at DMU is offering a kind of safe, supportive and inclusive community that you can come and be a part of. And obviously a big part of that is the experiences of student life and I suppose everything that goes alongside your studies. So everything around kind of, you know, health and well-being and the support that we have. And the big part of that obviously is being on campus, and it's being here. So why don't we start off by having a discussion about what the campus is like, so if people haven't been to us before. So Walija, talk to us a little bit about the campus. So what describe the campus to the audience?
Okay, so I think the campus is quite essential to literally everything around us. I think to the town it's like 15 to 20 minutes of a walk, and there's like all the shops there and stuff, and to like the train station it's about 20 minutes too. So it's quite central to everything else, of course. And I think all the campuses within each other, it's like not that long of a walk, which I like, because once I've had my lunch, I don't want to be walking too far for my lecture. So, it's like a few minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes, and you're from one campus to another. So I think that's like personally my favorite. And all around, like, it's really inclusive, like with food and stuff. So in like Food Village, there's like non-veg and veg and vegan food options and all that. And, there's like with the people, there's like so much diversity. You meet people from different backgrounds and even countries and stuff. So, that really enriches your experience to a point you couldn't imagine, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And Iris, what would you say are the kind of best places in your opinion to sort of like eat or socialize or go and study?
I think there's so many different cafes you can go to, or you can study with your friends if you need like a study session. They're quite great places to go, especially and there's little restaurants as well you can go and spend time with friends if you wanted to go, and it's quite like walking distance to campus and where you want to go.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you both covered the point about the fact that we are really close to Leicester City Centre. So I wouldn't even say it's as much as a 15-20 minute walk, Walija. I think it's, a lot quicker than that. We can be there in about 5-10 minutes. And like you say, you've got everything on your doorstep there, the shops, the restaurants, and lots of kind of activities to get involved in as well, depending on your interests. So there's comedy clubs, nightclubs. We've got the football stadium, the rugby stadium not far from us as well. So if you're into sports, that's really close by. So yeah, I think obviously we're very fortunate here at DMU to have a campus. So like you say, everything is in one area. You don't have to walk very far to your next kind of lecture. Everything's really accessible, but also being based in the city as well. So, I think you get the best of both worlds definitely when you come. And I think you touched again on that point about it being quite diverse. So the campus here, the student population here really does reflect Leicester City Centre as well, because obviously Leicester City is a very diverse and multicultural city. And definitely when you get here onto campus, it sort of feels a very good representation of that. Lots of different nationalities, lots of different backgrounds. Again, on your course, you'll be finding different people that you're studying with and sort of working with. So how would you say that people could enhance that student experience? I know we spoke a bit about kind of clubs and societies, but what else does DMU have to offer? Iris, what kind of things would you say to people to sort of look into?
I'll probably say join societies and also do DMU Global, because I had a friend who did DMU Global and did it in Tanzania, and she really enjoyed her experience. Oh, wow. And she spent a whole month teaching children how to speak English, and she really enjoyed her time when she was there. So try and use all the things that DMU have to offer to enhance your uni experience.
I think the global trips definitely, now that obviously, we're opening back up again, because obviously at one point due to the pandemic, all of our global trips obviously had to end. But now that we're getting to the point where we're offering those back out again, it's amazing to hear of some of these opportunities that our students are able to go on. So it's great to be able to sort of say again that we can take these opportunities and let you go international and go and see different cultures and go and experience your studies in a different country. So what about the kind of support when you get here? Because I think that could be something that a lot of people worry about, because there's a lot of emphasis on, independent learning and that kind of, like you say, going from a safety net, perhaps of being at sixth form and college and then coming to university. So what kind of support do we offer? So Walija, what kind of support does DMU offer, not just with your studies, but perhaps personally or with health issues?
To begin with studies, I'd start with you'll have an assigned personal tutor. So that's there for you on the email any time of the day. Whenever they're working, they'll reply back to you. Any concerns you have about the course, you can reach out. You can reach out to the module lecturers too. Like if you had a lecture and you can just it didn't make sense to me, I didn't understand it, or you need support for assignments, like there's an upcoming assignment, you're stressing about it, you don't have to. You can just reach out and, they'll help you with the resources and always point out you to the right direction. And I'd go ahead with looking into library resources, because there are so many of them all around the week. They run classes and stuff that are relevant to academic support. They also offer one-to-one support. So all you need to do is just book an appointment, and they'll offer you support for the work you've done, or give you tips and stuff to go away with and stuff. And other than academics, I'd say there's plenty of support for mental health, for your well-being, in any way possible. So all the support is, of course, there for you. I think the key is to always come ahead and access that for yourself, because it's really important.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there as well about obviously, the support is all there, and we have an amazing support service that, like you say, covers off every aspect. So whether that's an academic support service that you need with help with your assignment writing, but all the way through to looking after yourself. So looking after your mental health and looking after your physical health. But it's important that you sort of speak out, and when you feel like you need that support, and try and get that when you feel like you need it there. So Iris, we know at the moment that obviously people are trying to obviously find ways to make their money go further. We are dealing with a cost of living crisis. So coming to university, we know, is a big financial decision. But obviously we want students to feel reassured that there are lots of ways in which you can get support here at university with that, and obviously help with budgeting. So what kind of tips would you have in terms of like managing that kind of student loan when it comes in? What are your top tips for budgeting?
I think kind of when you know how much you get for maintenance loan, try and figure out how you're gonna save money. So like when you do food shopping, see how much you need to spend for each week.
Yeah.
But also there's also uni days and student beans, so you can kind of have discounted clothes that you can spend. So you don't have to spend the full amount of money on clothes, or you can spend less money for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think on our website, we've got a whole page that sort of lists all the different discounts that you can access as a student. And I think, it's always keeping that eagle eye out for when you can get something discounted, even when you go to supermarkets and you're probably looking for food, go at the time when you know that things might be coming down in price, and have a look at that. How about you, Walida? Have you got any top tips in terms of like budgeting and financial advice?
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely say that, get on with the discounts and everything. And even though if you're on top of your budget and you're confident you're saving, it doesn't hurt to save extra few pennies and pounds. It's always nice to have that. So sign up to student beans, sign up to uni days, and, just really be on the top of all the savings you can have.
And what about buying things for your course? So we know that probably you're going to have to use like textbooks on your course, and you're going to have to probably buy things. Are there ways that you can make that a little bit cheaper?
So I definitely started with looking into the library online. So most of the books you'd need relevant to the course would be on here, or visiting the library on campus. So there's 2 libraries, so you can go back and forth, have a look for the book. If you can't find it yourself, you can just go to the reception, tell them about the book, and they'll find it for you. And if it's not there, just see it on eBay and stuff, and secondhand books and stuff, they come a lot cheaper than the first-hand ones, and they still do the job they're supposed to. So I think definitely like looking around those things and saving yourself as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're really fortunate that we've got like quite a lot of charity shops in the city centre. So a lot of students, when they leave, will probably donate their textbooks there. So you can perhaps go and pick up, like you say, pick up textbooks a bit cheaper, or like you say, go to the library and borrow them. So yeah, lots of ways in which you can help make your kind of money stretch further. And also there's lots of activities that are run here by like our student union that are free, so they're accessible. You don't have to necessarily pay for them. There's lots of ways to go out there and experience the social life without having to necessarily spend a lot of money. And getting together and perhaps getting a group together and doing like meals together, so you're splitting the costs if you like cooking. We've got Leicester Market right down the road, which is one of the biggest undercover markets. So you can get lots of fruit and vegetables nice and cheap. So yeah, lots of ways that we can help you. And like I say, you can visit our webpage and have a look at that if you need to for some more information. So we've had lots of discussions there about different things. So if you're sitting at home and you have any questions, don't feel shy. Do ask them in the comments, and our students will get around to answering them in a moment, because we're going to head now and have a look at some questions just to sort of go through these last kind of points before we end for the day. So let's see what questions that we have, and we'll bring some up. Okay, so how far in advance do you receive your timetable? So obviously people will be sitting at home perhaps thinking a little bit about, you know, is it going to be a 9 a.m. Monday morning lecture, or so they're trying to think about how they're going to get prepared for that. So how far in advance do you normally get your timetable? So Iris, we'll come to you first.
If I remember correctly, it was 2 weeks before you start. So you have a My DMU app that you can go to and sign up with your number that they give you. And then there should be a timetable where they'll show you all the slots that you have for the whole term.
Yeah. Is that the same sort of how you remember it, Walija, getting your timetable?
Yeah, it's about the same, you know. It's definitely like keeping an eye on the email and having a look and downloading the app and everything to have an access to it.
Yeah. So obviously, when you become a firm applicant with us, we'll make sure obviously the information sent out to you beforehand. And like Iris says, there's an app that you can download, which you'll then be able to access information about like your timetables and what that's going to look like. Okay, so if we take another question now, so does the library stay open at night time? So who's had experiences of staying in the library late at night?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely open overnight. And if there's any changes to like the timing, they'll always put it out and let you know. So, you know, you're not coming out and it's closed and stuff like that. So, yeah. But I've pulled a few all-nighters, but I wouldn't recommend it. You know, definitely get on with your work before time. It really helps.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's something that we would recommend, but it definitely does happen. And the library does stay open for 24 hours. Like you say, there's a few days throughout the year when that's not the case, but usually that's advertised to you. But it does mean that obviously if you do need to go at any point, the library is accessible for you, and you can obviously go and do some work if you want to. Sometimes it is a lot quieter naturally if you go later at night. You're not going to get many distractions. Okay, then the last question then. So what happens if you miss a deadline on your course? So Iris, I'm not suggesting that you have missed a deadline, but obviously I think it's getting used to that kind of, that once you get the deadline, that's it, then you have to hand it in. So talk us a little bit about that process.
I think the best way to go about it is always talk to your personal tutor and tell them why you missed the deadline, and then also speak to your module leader as well to kind of tell them why you missed the deadline. I think your personal tutor is so important in helping you find a way to kind of talk to the module leader on why you've missed the deadline, because they're kind of like your advocate and they're always there to support you if you miss a deadline on your course.
I suppose it's important to get to the point of not missing it. So if you're struggling, talk to them before the deadline to say, look, I feel like I'm going to struggle to meet the deadline. Because obviously there are things that you can put in place, like mitigating circumstances where you might have an extension that you can get. But like you say, it's important that you have that discussion with them and sort of talk to them a little bit about it. Okay, so we've actually come to the end of our live stream. It's been great to chat to you both, and you know, it's been useful to sort of have some of those questions there so that we can hopefully advise people that are watching at home. But if you've not been able to ask a question or we've not answered your question, you can still get in touch with us. You can drop us an email to our inquiry email address, which we've put up on screen now. So if you do want to get in touch with us, feel free to contact and let us know what your questions are. And there are still lots of ways that you can still come and visit us as well on campus. Maybe you've been to an open day before already, but every opportunity is an opportunity to come and sort of find out more. There's always questions that perhaps you forget to ask or things that you want to come and find out about. We do have a dedicated applicant taster evening. So for all of our applicants here in the Health and Life Sciences faculty, if you come on the 3rd of May, it'll be a great opportunity to come and chat to other applicants. You can come and chat to our students like Walija and Iris, and our academics will be there. And if nothing else, you can come and get some free pizza and just come and hang out with us for a little bit on campus and just get to know the community a little bit more. There's a link there that you can follow, and also we'll post it in the comments so that you can just copy paste it into your email, into your internet browsers and book on. And of course, you can go to an open day. So our next open day will be on the 1st of July. Hopefully it'll be a nice sunny day and you'll get to sort of go around our campus and come and sort of see for yourself what it feels like. And potentially this could be your next home. So yeah, do come and have a look around at an open day. So I just want to thank Iris and Walida. Thank you very much, guys, for giving up your time to come and talk to us. And just thank you to those of you at home that are watching. And we hope to see you at DMU in the future. Goodbye, everyone.
Hearing my name read out and walking across that stage just reminded me of how far I've come since stepping foot at DMU. DMU changed me, changed my life. This university gave me my identity, the friends I've made, the lessons I've learned, the degrees I've got, and it's made me who I am. DMU has provided me with so many opportunities, and I don't just mean my degrees. I'm proud of those. I have 4, but I mean the life skills, going to New York and dancing on Times Square. I'd never thought I'd do that. Going to India and teaching dance. Learning languages. I've learned 3 new languages since I've come to DMU. Volunteering hours, work experience. So these are the life skills that I've gained that I'm going to need to get on and carry on making the life that I want for myself. And if it wasn't for DMU, I probably wouldn't have done any of this. Going to Dubai was, again, another life-changing experience that I got because of DMU. I got to speak there. It's been a good experience. I've loved learning here because the lecturers that I've had all have industry experience. It's been nice because you know that they know what they're talking about. The student union elections have been a highlight for me because they were different, they were interesting. I managed to win an election during the pandemic, and I think for me that's a win that I'm very, very proud of. Graduation was emotional. My father was sat across me on that stage, and 8 years ago he came and dropped me here. He said to me, just believe in yourself and you'll be able to do it. And I did. And 8 years later, seeing him across me on stage, it was special because it felt like life doing a full circle. When people say that they don't know where home is, for me, this is home. I came here as a 20-year-old girl, and 8 years later, I'm still here, and the journey hasn't stopped. The journey is still ongoing. This is home. This is where I grew up.